Look here, man. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Alright? And the reason why T.I. and Young L.A. and Grand Hustle fell apart is mainly because of ego. And a lot of people gonna disagree and say this and say that, and and make their own moves. But Grand Hustle had the potential to be in one of the biggest labels in the South. No joke. No joke. They were putting out and had the position to put out some of the top artists in the world. Despite of what they had now, there's a lot of voices in the South that came out and that we heard through that label. And it paved the way for an area that wasn't really getting a lot of attention in the South. Like having a label to go to in the South to make Atlanta, one of the big muscles in the music industry. And then you got a bankhead rapper like Young Dro early on in his career on there. And nobody really knew that. Some people didn't know him as Dro. They knew him as Dewan first, before he came out of nowhere. But Dro had been around with cats like Goody Mob and hanging out with them dudes. And the dude from Crisscross, the one that died, he was the one gonna sign Dro first, cause he had his record label and he was trying to put artists out from the ATL. When T.I. first came out, and he was doing his thing at the time, you were thinking, oh man, like this is it. They really doing it out here. They tearing stuff up. Trap music. That's all I keep hearing about is trap music. But T.I., when he really was in his groove, when he's putting out King and T.I. versus T.I.P., Grand Hustle was at the top of the music chart, not just from the South. It wasn't like, oh, he's just some artist from the South, they doing their little thing. He was hitting the pop charts. Like, he was doing pop numbers. He's on award shows winning awards. When they used to just nominate certain Southern MCs. So a lot of people were heading over to Grand Hustle. A lot of the artists who was approached by other people, if people throw the Grand Hustle logo down, like, look, I'm working with Grand Hustle, T.I., that's going to get you more exposure. Most of these dudes and artists that was young in the game, they was like, man, I want to get with Tip. I want to get with them, because they making all the noise right now. Even though y'all got a better deal for me, I'm going to go on over here with them and let them manage me. And what happened was, a lot of people dropped the ball. And that's all it was. Really. Because Young L.A., when he came out with Ain't I, when that dropped, everybody around him was like, whoa, Ain't I, Ain't I, Ain't I. And Ain't I was so hot in the South, T.I. and Dro got on Ain't I. Because he wasn't with Grand Hustle when that dropped, before that dropped. They got him, he got with Grand Hustle after that, and Interscope came along. After Grand Hustle decided they wanted to put some steam behind it, Ain't I became one of the biggest songs they had since Shoulder Lean. So now, when you got this momentum going, everybody thinking Young L.A. this, Young L.A. finna come out. My cousin was a huge Young L.A. fan. He was 15 at the time. He thought he was the illest thing, getting his hair cut like him. I'm like, he sound like J Money. Ferdinand Lightning. That's what I thought he was when I first heard him. And they was like, oh, that's Young LA. So I thought he was J Money. And then J Money was already another J Money down in the South. So he eventually had to change his name to J Futuristic. So it was a J, because J Money was with Luke now. He was down there with them. So I was like, I knew J Money back from the 90s. But anyway, he put this album together that he's been working on for the longest called Futuristic Leland. And everybody's anticipating the album release of Young LA. Since he had that, you would think this was coming along. But when Young LA came on the team and joined Grand Hustle, he got all these problems. Because now the people that he was cool with DTL, you know, or D Down for Life and all them D4L, so when he got all them dudes over there, some of them his boys and stuff, and he going over here with Tip, and they already got problems. So now you in a situation where you in a war that you ain't had nothing to do with. But you down with them because they your boys and that's this and that. So you riding with them. And he felt he didn't get that loyalty in return. And it hurt him. Because even when things weren't right, and he was upset that they dropped the ball on his album, and they letting him sit on the shelf, and Interscope got him on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? He 23, 24 years old, and he got the hottest song out, and he ain't out. And the reason why is mainly because they genuinely got everything circling around T.I. And with the case of him getting ready to go to jail, you know, pending jail time, and him fighting this case, is at the same time Young LA is coming into this typhoon. So all the concern is about Tip. How Tip finna come out. How Tip finna do this. Dro got pushed to the side. Dro album wasn't coming out. Everybody at Grand Hustle was playing pole position. Alpha Mega was gone. Now you looking at, that's the muscle of Grand Hustle. Now he gone. Everybody being repositioned. Young LA on the shelf, so he dropping mixtapes to keep himself relevant. Because you know they tell him, you know, man, when all this going on, when Tip out, you know, we finna hand the ball to you and Dro. You and Dro gonna, you know, be the anchors until Tip come back. So that's what he hanging his hat on. He was like, all right, let's go with it. You know, I'm with that. And then he putting out all these work and mixtapes, and they won't drop. Interscope won't drop Futuristic Living. And he putting all these work out basically for free. So he's saying, you know what, man, this little mixtape money he getting, you know, like, he got to split it with everybody. And why he got all these hands in his pocket when he ain't really making no money and nothing really going on. So it started to cause a shakeup for a major breakup. You understand what I'm saying? So Young LA decided, you know what, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to talk with my managers, and we're going to see what we can come up with. But I got to let them know, man, like, I'm unhappy, you know, before anything. So he sat down with him, told his management team, even though, you know, I got love for y'all, this and that, but right now, as an artist, y'all not holding me down, you know, like, y'all not trying to push me or put me out there, you know. And he talking with his management team, and as opposed to what's going on with all the rest of these guys, and they're not talking about doing something with him. So he was like, look, that's it. After, what's that, Sun Trust album he put out, and he had Crushed the Block, And when he was doing those albums or mixtapes, it was kind of different. Because his thing on them mixtapes was more like, I'm looking out for Young LA. So they could have took it that way, Grand Hustle, which wouldn't have been a surprise or shock to anybody. But Tip wasn't caring about nobody but Tip. Tip came out, he was looking about getting himself a deal. Dro was cool with the little money he was getting. But it was like, why Dro ain't been out? Because everybody on the streets is saying, man, Dro colder than Tip. Now, Dro on the shelf. But that really wasn't what it was. It's just that Tip has a lot of ego, man. That's why I could never do business with him. I think he's a great artist. I think he's a lot smarter than a lot of these people out here. And I just think Mac and them guys should have handled things a little better. You know, but the main fault I think Young LA had is that he was young. I think Jason Geter, didn't do well by him. So if Jason wasn't doing good by you, Mac and Tip should have definitely done better by you. You know, and you got all these hands in the pot. And they dropped it. They dropped the ball. And I mean, for them, as a business perspective, looking at it, I would have known from the beginning that I got to drop this guy's album like now. We need to drop. When 8 hours out, I would have dropped his album right then and there. Because it would have sold. You know, I'd have known right away that this is a hot for a moment type rapper. That you got to come out and get as much as you can off of them before the people turn their head and they start looking at the next guy. But one thing was proven is that everybody was biting this guy's swag. Now that's one thing that was for certain. Young LA had his own weird style. He got all the funny haircuts. He got crazy tattoos. He got certain slang and words and the way he delivers it. And all of a sudden, you got Dro rapping like him. Even Tip sounding like him. And if you listen to the albums, you could tell Tip was sounding more like him. But okay, maybe I'm tripping. You go back and listen to him, and then you see, were they really stealing from him? Were they biting a little bit of his swag? I don't know. You know, I think he got a good argument for that. But the thing is, this man got his PFC chain around his neck, and he's still repping with y'all. His baby mama stabbed him up. He in the hospital bleeding in pain. He calling y'all up, and not one of y'all came to visit him. Mac, all y'all. None of y'all came down there to see him. So, you tell me what that is. So after that, of course, the man gonna want his walking papers. And said, you know what, I'm gonna just get my money independently and just do that, y'all all family. He ain't make not one song dissing him. But what they do, the man dropped his mixtape. He get into it with some other cats. They shut it down. Tip them keeping the radio station from playing anything Young LA. He can't get shows. He can't do none of the stuff that they were going to do after they got Interscope to officially drop him. They played a dirty game of keeping him down. So people, because if you keep him down and the money is low, the muscle that was around him and all them yes men and people up there showing off like they tough in front, they ain't gonna want to deal with him no more. Because the money ain't there no more. The weed getting low. And that's what happened. So eventually, he just faded out. Eventually, because he eventually got into too many brawls with other people. But it was genuinely based off this Grand Hustle situation. So now they want to act like T.I. and Dro want to act like, well, you know, it ain't got nothing to do with all that, you know, because Dro is good. Dro was like, man, they cutting me checks. I'm good. I can sit on the shelf if I'm going to get a check. But overall, you know, Young L.A. wasn't strong enough to hold down an album. He was somebody that was necessary at that time because he had a hot song out. And him and Dro was in the same boat. Dro had Shoulder Lean. Where is the album? Still was on the shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man, because I got to roll. But y'all know what it was. I ain't got to say it no more. Anybody that's associated with T.I. will have these problems. I guarantee you they will have these problems. Because it's always going to come back to being about him. The ego is too great. And when the ego is always too great, then eventually it's going to blow up. Eventually, because you can't see that another person is ready to go and shine and take that baton and go further. And you can't let that happen because your ego. I'm not saying that guy could pass T.I., but it was his time to lead. And you didn't let it happen. It was Dro time to lead, and you didn't let that happen. Because it's got to be you in front. Don't worry, it's not just you. 50 did the same thing. So, this is why certain businesses and practices just don't work.
It ain't no more TIP, it ain't no more Young Spodee. Ain't cross the block for life, and that's the way this shit gon' go. You know we side off. It ain't no more TIP, it ain't no more Young Spodee. It crushed the block for life, and that's the way this shit gon' go. You know we like. Need I say no? After that, life after Grand Hustle. After life after Grand Hustle, shit. Black boy, white boy too. After that, the new Jimi Hendrix, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm going rock and roll on y'all nigga. I can do what I wanna do. Y'all already bit my style up. I don't gotta do no talking. Y'all nigga chew me up, man. It's only one me though, you hear me? We doing the long way. This how we do it. Just crush the block. That's what's going on, man. Be on the lookout, cause I'm about to smash, man. Project after project. Quality street music, you hear me? Got 4 tapes lined up. We dropping them all this summer. We at y'all nigga throat. That way what we do. Yeah, already. Need us to say anymore. Need us to talk again. Yeah, back to the long way. Understand me? They got $200 worth of reefer and 1 blunt, man. Life is free after the hustle. You understand me? And my pocket's full. Yeah, greenbacks. That's what I'm doing. For everybody who wondering what they gonna do since he ain't with all them folks over there, I'm continue to get my money. I was a star before I came, and I got down was a star when I left. And I'm still a star. Nigga, I got motherfucking orange hair, nigga, with blue in my shit, nigga. I'm from Tumbleville High Project, motherfucker can't tell me nothing. I'm on some Andre 3000 shit, real Jimi Hendrix shit on y'all niggas, man. I been killed y'all with that urban shit. I got all y'all niggas sounding like me on the radio. I should've taken some of y'all niggas publishers. Who y'all nigga with? AdCap, BMIC say, what that check at, goddamn it? All this bang y'all niggas doing. Let's see y'all niggas do y'all hair like this. Y'all niggas ain't got enough neck. Y'all ain't that confident in y'all self. See, swag is confidence, nigga. Come outside how I wanna come outside, nigga. I'm a motherfucking superstar. Fuck I care. Need I say more?
Now, with Yola, same situation. I think they should have handled that better. Tip should have, but that's his own business. And that stuff, you know, hey, I'm going to say, a lot of politics is played behind the scenes. So when Spodee come out and make his statement as to how he feel or what he thought happened, you know, he didn't understand it. But that's how egos work. So Spodee thinking like, man, I had a potential to be better than T.I. or any one of those guys on Grand Hustle. You know, hey, it is what it is. And he was like, man, there's always room for one more picture up there. Tip gonna show Yola and Young LA picture. Y'all remember that. But see, the problem was Tip's ego. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, hey, what could I say? And when Spodee decided to leave, you know, it was just timing. He knew it was time to pack his bags and go. Because Grand Hustle wants you to make them some money and you stay on the sidelines. That's how it's designed right now. It's designed to keep Tip afloat. And if you got something that can keep Tip hot, then that's what you there for. You know, and Spodee is young. You know, he is kind of naive to the business side, so he don't understand it.
Hey man, nigga can't be mad cause I told the motherfucking truth, man. Nigga can't be mad cause I say I got the potential to be better than them, man. What kind of nigga don't want to see a nigga up? What kind of nigga don't want to see a nigga do good? You know what I mean? And if you had any sense, when your artists do good, that means you do good.
Yeah, they don't look at it that way, Spodee. The business ain't designed to be that way. You know, especially when the head of the label performs himself. You see, that's a problem. Because they will never want you to outshine them as the artist. So that's where the double-edged sword is when you sign to a label in which the artist is the head of the label. It presents big and major problems for you as an artist. You know what I mean? I'm out of here.